Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the historic Alpine Theater. I'm Toby. I am your host tonight, and we are glad you're here. And just to get ready to get the greatest comedians up here in our region, you're going to love it. Welcome to the Clean Comedy All-Star Tour. We're so excited that you're here. You know, here we are in the beautiful, historic Alpine Theater. Now, there's 4 announcements I need to make before we bring the comedians up, and I need your help on this, all right? Number 1 is make sure your cell phones are turned off, all right? So right now, check your cell phone, make sure it's turned off or silent, because during the event, you're not gonna wanna make calls, or you're not gonna wanna text, because if you do that, then we're gonna invoke the fine print on your ticket tonight, which is a bolo. That is let's not be on the lookout, that is ballerina solo, right here. Right here. So if you take that call, we're going to call you out. All right? That's number 1. Number 2 is look around for the emergency exits. It's important that you know where the emergency exits are. In the event of a fire, please run. Run. Please yell fire. It's okay to yell fire in a crowded theater if it's on fire. If you hear me yell fire, run, because that's the only way I'm going to do it. So I want you to make sure that you got that, all right? The last 2 things I need to tell you about is really important to me. Number 1 is never go to a half-price haircut place. Never do that. I did that yesterday trying to get a haircut for tonight's show, and I don't know if you've noticed, the haircut places they're like assembly lines these days. They just put you through and you take the next person. This is what happened to me. This is what happened. Do you see that? Do you see that? They call that a nick. Well, it's not really a nick, it's assault. That's what that is. That is assault. And the lady sneezed when she was using the clippers, for real. And it did that. And she felt really bad about it, and she's like, listen, she said, the good news is its hair will grow back. And I'm like, at my age, it might grow back, it might not grow back. But then she tried to make up for it. She said, do you want one on the other side to kind of balance that out? But anyway, so be careful if you're going to get your hair cut at a half-price hair salon. I think that's important. And the last thing is stay away from the self-checkouts. I don't know if have you tried the self-checkout thing? That is the biggest temptation in any store. You know, you're in line behind all these people with tons of groceries and stuff, right? You're in line behind them, and you know that you can just do it yourself, and it'll be so much quicker. So I tried that. I had 2 loaves of bread, milk, a candy bar, and a can of coffee. That's all I had, right? So I'm behind my friend Tim, who's in the checkout line behind a lady with like Mount Everest of groceries here. And so I'm thinking, I'm going to do it. So I just walked over, got into the self-checkout line, and I'm there by myself. I take the deep breath. I can do this. I take the bread out. I scan it. Beep. Put it in the bag. What does it say? Put your item in the bag. I've already done that. I've already put so I take the item out of the bag, put the item back in the bag, put the item in the bag, boom, and now it comes up and it says right there, it says, calling for attendant. So now the attendant comes over, after she's busy with somebody else, she comes over, she swipes her card, boop, and I can do it again. So now I take the other loaf of bread, beep, put it in the bag, place item in the bag, place item in the bag, place item in the bag, calling attendant. So here comes the attendant back over to me, and now I'm feeling really dumb. If you guys been there, I'm feeling really dumb and embarrassed because everybody's watching the attendant come to me. Last but not least, so the attendant realizes I'm struggling. She comes over, grabs my candy bar, scans it, ding, puts it right in the bag. No problem, right? So she walks up, I do the coffee, works out fine. I go to put my $20 into the automatic feeder. Guess what? If you have a wrinkle 20, it is not legal tender. Did you know that? You put the money in the little slot, it kicks it back out. You put the money in the slot, it kicks it back out. That's all I had was $20. So I told her, calling attendant. So here she comes over. I said, I need a 20, right? She said, okay, I'll go get you a 20. So she goes over to get a 20. She comes back, and she says, I don't have a 20. We're buying money. That's what they call it. Did you know it's called buying money when a store doesn't have so much of what you need? I said, you have 5 fives, 4 fives? She said, yes. She came over. That was the end of it. Meanwhile, 10 minutes earlier, I've seen my friend Tim, who was in the long line, already leave the facility. So my advice to you is avoid the checkout line, all right? So do that. Anyway, so tonight we've got a great show for you. We've got 4 fantastic comedians who not only will perform tonight, but right after the show, they'll be in the back for meet and greet photos and all kinds of good time. Are y'all ready to have a great time tonight? Are you ready? All right, keep it going as we welcome our first comedian to the stage tonight. Our first comedian on the All-Star Clean Comedy Tour in 1993 won the Tonight Show with Jay Leno's Comedy Challenge. which basically means he got to be the pool boy for Jay Leno for one summer. But beyond that, he appeared on Showtime's network's Funniest People in America. Would you please welcome to the stage Mr. Mark Wood?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Fine.
Good. Alpine Theater. Excited to be. This is a nice place, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. It's a lot nicer than the last place that I appeared at. The last place that I appeared at, I showed up. They had my name out front on an Etch-a-Sketch. I walked in. They said, "You're canceled." Then these people, they had the nerve to pay me off in Monopoly money. Lucky the bank caught it. I'm sorry, can everybody see me okay? Is this in the way? I need to move this out of the way for you. There we go. Let me tell you a little bit about myself.
You're not small.
Thank you. Some things just aren't obvious, are they? I was reviewing some of my childhood memories the other day, and I remembered the time that my dad taught me how to swim. He put me in a rowboat, he rowed me out in the middle of the lake, threw me overboard. Now, swimming back to shore wasn't very hard. It was getting on the handcuffs and the shackles that was kind of difficult. But my dad, he was a motivator, though. He used reverse psychology on me. He was in there, as I was in the water there, he was in the boat, he was yelling at me, he was going, "Give up! You can't do it!" Houdini tried it, he wasn't able to do it, what makes you think you can do it? But my mom made up for it, though. I went home and she fixed me what she said was my favorite meal, arsenic casserole. I probably would have finished the whole thing, but I got sick and had to go to the hospital. Your mom ever do this? She'll make like chocolate icing, and then she'll let you lick the beaters.
Yeah.
Then she'll turn them off. Okay, let me tell you about myself. I'm one of those guys that always seem to have those little fender benders, and it's never my fault. Take, for instance, the other day, I'm driving along, I'm minding my own business, I'm in my SUV, and this other guy, he's in his living room. I come crashing through, and he jumps up off the couch, and he's crying like a baby, running around wailing his arms. And I mean, I got him and all. I got him. I had to go through the kitchen to make that real sharp turn, but I got him. I like to buy things too. That's unusual for a guy. Usually it's the women that like to buy and shop for things, but I love to shop. I like good deals. I've been known to buy things that I have no need for just because it's on sale. I bought myself a garage door opener because it was on sale. I don't even own a garage. So I hooked it up to my toilet seat. You kids think Nintendo's fun. My wife yelled at me and said, "You left the seat up." I yelled back, "Hit the button." It's crazy in this world that we live in today. I tell you, kids today aren't like it wasn't like it was when we were kids. A lot of different things in the world today for the kids today that was for when I was a kid. I loved school. Okay, I was one of those kids that actually loved to go to school. There we go. I wasn't even turned on, was I?
There you go.
If that's what you're coming for, I'm on. Thank you. But when you wanted to look, when you needed to know how to spell something, what did the teacher always say? Look it up in the dictionary. Look it up in the dictionary. Yeah. I spent one day looking up the word pneumonia in the dictionary. Teacher told me it started with a P. Then there was cool classes like typing class. Anybody have typing class? Yeah, typing, yeah. Yeah. You know those tests you take to see how many words a minute you can type? At the end of the test, I owed 9 words. If there was one thing that I thought I knew for the first 15 years of my life was the alphabet, I'd get into typing class and they'd throw that thing all over the place. I enjoyed being the class clown. Class clown in school was nice.
There you go.
You know, joke around, get on the teacher's nerves.
Yeah.
Teachers would always write on my report card, could do better. And I would always say, as long as you know. I had one teacher, this is what she said, Mark, when you get out of school, do you think you're going to find yourself a job where you can tell jokes all day? Now I make more money than she does. Now that's a sad statement on society, isn't it? It's like you got this giant pile of money, and on one side you've got your teachers, they educate your children, they help them to grow up to be productive citizens, and on the other hand you've got comedians, they make us laugh. It's like, who do you give the money to? I'll give it to the comedians, we'll be ignorant, but at least we'll have a good time. I bought an alarm clock the other day. Alarm goes off, press a button on top, 10 minutes later the alarm goes off again. You press a button on the top, 10 minutes later the alarm goes off again. You press a button on the top, 10 minutes later the alarm goes off again. That thing does that all night. I bought that thing for my brother-in-law. He's one of those guys who's always selling something out of the back of a van, and it's never his van. He knows how it feels to be taken, though. He married my sister. My sister, she used to wake me up in the middle of the night, every night, tell me it's time to go to school. Every night. Used to get me so mad. But then again, I was relieved to find out that it wasn't time to go to school. Then I have to walk back home again. A lot of people think because of my size, I must have been the bully in school. But let me tell you, there was somebody in my school who was more mean, more vicious, more brutal than I could ever be. And man, was I scared of her. She broke my arm in 2 places. In the cafeteria and on the playground. And every time I'd pass her in the hall, she'd punch me. And she'd start singing. Fatty, fatty, 2x4, can't fit through the kitchen door. Not only was that mean, but it was also very inaccurate. I'd been through the kitchen door numerous times. But my dad said, you know, she's just trying to tell you she likes you. And I'm thinking, if she does this to me and she likes me, what would happen to me if she actually hated me? But Dad said, do this. He said, the next time she punches you, just lean in and give her a big kiss. Now you have to understand that was easier said than done because this girl was ugly. I'm serious. I mean, she had 2 eyes, which is a good thing, mind you. 2 eyes is a good thing. But one was red and one was green. And she had this big yellow mole right between them. And every time I looked at her, it was like looking at a traffic signal. I didn't know whether to stop, go, or proceed with caution. So anyway, long story short, we've been married for 20 years. Guess who's sleeping on the couch tonight? Actually, I have my very lovely and talented wife, Sherry, with me this evening. Oh, let's see. What do we want to talk about? Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Let's talk about getting married. But before I talk about, well, let me talk about my dating before I got married. That's even more interesting. I used to hate dating. Dating has all kinds of rules that you have to follow. Things like bathing and wearing clean clothes. And blind dates are the worst. Anybody ever go on a blind date? Yeah, some of you, yeah. You know why they call it a blind date? Because once you see each other, you hope you can never see each other again. I went out on a blind date and I took her to a fancy restaurant. I told her, you can order anything you want on the menu. Anything you want, you can order. What does she do? She orders the most disgusting thing on the menu. Cow tongue. Yeah, that's right, cow tongue.
All night long, she's trying to get me to eat some cow tongue. And finally, I had to tell her, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to taste anything that's going to taste me back. All night long, I kept thinking about this poor cow out in the field trying to moo, and he can't because my date's eating his tongue. But I got married. And marriage has rules too, doesn't it? Yeah. It's got its own set of rules. They're always changing. And you never know if you're right or you're wrong. It's kind of like playing Candyland with your kids, if you ever done that. You just kind of go along with it because you know in the end you're going to lose. But I'm a meat and potato kind of guy. I don't like to try a lot of fancy things. I got my standard food items that I like to eat. So I don't try many fancy foods, and that absolutely drives my wife crazy. Well, it's either that or her mental illness. I'm already sleeping on the couch, so you can get it. If you're happy and you know it, shake your meds. Actually, you guys be quiet back here. Actually, my wife is bipolar, but she doesn't mind me telling you this. And if you've never been around somebody who's bipolar, you're missing out. I mean, it's a treat. It's like having two wives in one. And I never know which one it's going to be. One day, it could be Dorothy. The next day, it could be the Wicked Witch of the West. And let me tell you this, guys. Don't try to find out by throwing water on your wife. That's when the flying monkeys come out. But I did try fancy food one time. I decided I was going to try lobster. I was going to make me some lobster. So I go to the store, and if you want lobster fresh, lobster comes in a tank. You buy it, and the lobster's alive. So I get a lobster, I take it home. I'm not ready to cook it yet, so I put it in the fridge. I come back a couple of days later, and things moved in. He's moved my bread and my lettuce. I don't even know what happened to the cheese. But I take the lobster and I put them in a pot of boiling water, and I put the lid on it. And as I start to walk away from the pot to let it cook, I hear this little on the side of the pot. He wanted out, and I started getting real sad. And I started thinking, who am I to take the life of this innocent creature? So I took the pot off the flame, I grabbed the lobster out of the pot, I dried them off, we hopped in my car, and I rode to the edge of the woods and set them free. One of my favorite places to eat is McDonald's. I love McDonald's. I guess it's my downfall. But somebody showed me a picture. You may have seen this picture. It's been floating around the internet. It's like a small hamburger and a small fry on one side of the picture that's been freshly made. And then on the other side of the picture, it's a small hamburger and a small fry that's been set out for like 8 weeks. And they look identical. And my friend showed me that and said, see here, look at this. Look at this. What's this tell you? It tells me that I don't need to eat a small hamburger and a small fry. I need to supersize. I haven't seen any comparison pictures with that. Been trying to lose a little weight. Yeah, trying to lose a little weight. I don't know why. I hate skinny people. Okay, let me clarify. I don't hate all skinny people. I just hate the skinny people that can eat all they want and never gain any weight at all. Man, what is up with that? That's weird. And then you got the other ones. I forgot to eat. Listen, I'm 52 years old. I have never forgot to eat. But they got all the different diet plans out there now. You got all kinds of them you can choose from. Last one that I did was the Nutrisystem prepackaged food. You know that one, the prepackaged food 15-day plan? Aced it. 15-day plan, I got it done in 5 days. Slim Fast is another good one. I'll give you some dieting advice because I can't. Slim Fast. Put it in the fridge. Get it chilled, pour it in a glass, add a few scoops of ice cream. Perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh. One day when I was out traveling on the road, I stopped for the evening, moved into my motel, getting a little hungry, looked across the street and there was a McDonald's. Decided I'd go over and get something to eat. So walk out, notice there's a divided highway between me and the McDonald's. I don't want to get in the car, so I just walk across the street to McDonald's. I get over there and the doors are locked. Guy in there mopping the floor, he's trying to motion to me that the drive-thru's open. So I go back to the drive-thru. So I'm back here at the drive-thru with the menu board, jumping up and down, trying to get their attention. The lady finally comes on, takes my order, and I go around to the window. So I get to the window, she's looking at me like, "Where's your car?" And I said, "Well, I'm staying over at the motel. I didn't want to drive over here. I just thought I'd come over, and the doors were locked, so I'll just come out here to the menu board." She says, "I'm sorry, sir, but it's against the rules to serve you without a vehicle." And I'm like, "You mean there's some kind of rule book back there that prohibits you from serving me?" And she says, "I'm sorry, sir, but that's just the rules. That's the way they do." So I did the next best thing. I go back to the menu board, and I start hitchhiking. Guy pulls up, he rolls down his window, he says, "Where are you going?" I said, "Window number 2. He says, "I can take you as far as number 1. Then he had the nerve to ask me for gas money. Hey, you guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Let's give it up for Mark Wood, ladies and gentlemen! Yes. Woo! I'll tell you what, that was funny right there. That's funny. Let's keep it going. Our next comic is a trucker's wife and a mom of 3. Her act is cleaner than her house. Ladies and gentlemen, would you help me welcome Marlena Mann?
This isn't discriminating or anything. Let's get my little twin out of the way so you can see me. I hope you guys can be loud tonight. Can you be loud for me tonight? Yeah. That's awesome. My name is Marlena Mann, and I am hearing impaired. I wanted to let you know. So if you heckle me in the back, doesn't matter, can't hear you anyway. Now, I've wearing hearing aids since I was about 9 years old, and usually when I talk to somebody and I tell them I'm hearing impaired, you're going to have to, speak up a little. They'll just look at me and say, "Wow, when you talk, it's like there's nothing even wrong." There's nothing wrong with me. Apparently they heard the whole deaf and dumb thing. They need to know that they're the dumb one. Yeah. But my name is Marlena Mann. When I got married, I married a man and I became a man. Because America. Can't get to say that too much, can you? But my maiden name was Marlena Butt Off. You're all my bullies at school. You've all came. No, but yeah, my name was Marlena Butt Off, and I figured, I was either going to do comedy or be an advocate for liposuction. And then I thought maybe I'll be a swimsuit model. I could do that or comedy, but some people said I didn't have the body for it, but I'm going to do comedy anyway. But I did recently, lost 24 pounds. By recently, I mean about 12 years ago before I had kids. Let's keep that momentum going for me. I need that encouragement. Now, I've always struggled a little bit with my weight. I used to go to this gym called Curves. You've heard of Curves, ladies, right? Curves. Now, I like gyms that clearly define the kind of clientele they want. Curves. Now, my friend wants to take me to a Planet Fitness. Have you seen a Planet lately? I don't think so. I'm 4'10". I can't even work a mic stand, let alone equipment. right? I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to say, I don't know, nothing fits me. They're going to throw me a hula hoop and say, go be Saturn. Yeah, I don't think so. I struggle a lot with that, and I figured I needed a more calm, loving, understanding, compassionate gym. Somebody that can work with me and just go slow. And I thought, I need a Christian gym because I am a Christian. So I joined CrossFit. Oh, it was a Christian gym when I left there. I prayed that whole workout. Definitely. I think what I really want to get out of a gym is make the most of my time, my energy, just really work hard and just really put the most in. Okay, I just want a place to hide from my kids, okay? I hope they serve coffee. But I am a mom of 3, and I love my children very much. 2 of them grew in my tummy, and 1 of them grew in my heart. Aww. I liked her a lot more until she outgrew my shoes, though. Now I don't like her so much. We can't shop together anymore. I do have a lot of Christian friends. Anybody in here homeschooler moms? No, me neither, because I love my kids. No, a lot of my friends are homeschool moms, and when I became a stay-at-home mom and my husband became a trucker, a lot of them wanted to tell me, you need to homeschool, spend all your time with your children. And, I said, I don't know if they can do it. They're like, you're smart enough. They'll get a better quality education. I'm like, well, you got to answer some questions. How do you grade carpet shampooing, oil changes, and doing the dishes really well? Yeah, no, I don't homeschool. They do go to public school. And they don't have too hard of a time going to public school, except for, how kids bring things home from school all the time, germs and weird things. They brought one thing home this one time. It's not so bad when the kids get it, but once the parents get it, it's like they don't know how to treat it, called Common Core. I don't know what kind of shot you have for that, but they need one. I am a trucker's wife, though, and my husband's gone all the time. He's just always late coming home, and he's always leaving out early, trucker time. So we kind of did life backwards a little bit. We had babies, and then we got married, and then we came into our faith. Kind of backward. Eventually, I'm hoping that we get to court and go to college, and maybe he'll take me out on a date. Actually, a little secret, he's here tonight, and we're on a date right now. But it is difficult when he's gone, and it took a lot out of me, doing everything and becoming a stay-at-home mom when he's gone. I don't know how many women out here budget their money and manage their household. I did really bad for a long time, but man, I got really good at hiding the receipts now. Just really. And I would put them up high or down, and he'd find them, and then I'd put them down low, and then I'd forget them, and after a while I just put them under the rug, and it doesn't even really matter because I'll never see them. I love you, baby. But yeah, I wanted to tell you too, I do struggle with hearing loss, and I have ADHD, and anxiety, and depression that I have dealt with in my life. And I did start going to see a counselor, and I just absolutely love him. In only 3 sessions, he realized and told me, we discovered I have ADHD. In 3 more sessions, I realized he has ADHD. If I go back 3 more times, I get to find out when his kids win the sports that they're in. I just can't wait to get to know the guy better. So, but my husband is gone a lot, and they say that absence